Hello and welcome back to the Ambassadors of Gaming. I'm one in your army of hosts, Ambassador Michael, and today I'm going to discuss with you another game that we didn't get a chance to review, so it's one of the best games of the generation. We are handpicking some of the best games in the lead up to the fall 2020 of next gen, and kind of documenting some stuff we didn't get a chance to go over, more in-depth look at some of the games that came out throughout the generation. Today's video is about one of the most unique games of the generation, Ori and the Blind Forest. Yes, the Xbox exclusive platformer Ori and the Blind Forest is one of the best games of the generation. Why? It's beautiful, it's fun to play, it has great RPG mechanics incorporated into it, and it has the Metroidvania-like aspects to it that we've kind of seen a surge in the last couple of years. But it culminates in a way that is different from its contemporaries. It's cute and spooky at the same time, which I really like. I think the duality of that, along with the challenge of it's again crafted well enough where the studio clearly had a lot of thought go into the gameplay of how Ori moves, and kind of the enemy types and how they want upgrades to kind of combo with each other and all this kind of stuff. And so I remember when I had first gotten into it, I had heard many good things about it, and I was like, hey, whatever, let's sink our teeth into it. And it was something I guess unexpected for me, because by the time I had gotten to it, everybody had already sung its praises, and I had high expectations going in, and I was just consistently blown away with it throughout the entirety of my time with it. The exploration is worthwhile and interesting. Going back and collecting items and upgrades and that kind of stuff is worth the while, and also laid out in a way where you're not wasting your time. There's fast travel points, which are super helpful because they let you get back to the areas where you used to be instead of having to traverse the whole map. You don't have to just walk everywhere back to where you were. You can just teleport relatively close by and go pick up the upgrades and points or health orbs or whatever you need. And so from start to finish, this game is atmospheric. It's fun to play. The difficulty ramps up, I think, in a fair way where you're gaining skills and abilities, and it's demanding more of you, but in a way that isn't ridiculous. The music is wonderful. I really can't get over the art style and how pretty it is and just unique. Because one of the big things for Xbox at the time before this had come out is that Xbox games are lame, they're not pretty, they're subpar, blah blah blah. That was the narrative that was being passed around. And Ori came out and was like, no, actually, we have games that aren't just military shooters. We have stuff that's really cool. Come check this out. And it was very not what you'd expect from Microsoft. Now granted, Microsoft did not develop the game, but I do believe they own the IP. And the fact that it's getting a sequel and the sequel release is imminent is wonderful. I'm very excited for that. I'm very excited to talk about it, play it, and do some videos on it. I think Daryl's going to handle the coverage on that one. But Ori is one of the very best games of the generation, simply due to the fact that it takes lessons from its predecessors, the older NES style games, Castlevania and Metroid, and applies the design philosophy in a way that makes sense with the aesthetic of the game and the way the game is designed to be played, and also the way it allows you to have your own type of play style with it. And so it's one of those games where the biggest thing for me when it comes to a game is if I want to play it after I've beaten the story, that's a huge ordeal for me, because gameplay loop is huge. And a lot of the times I don't find gameplay compelling enough in a lot of games to go back and replay. The major factor for me in most games is story. But I enjoyed my time with Ori, that sometimes I would just sit and run around the map and kill some enemies, go for upgrades and stuff like that. Achievement hunt a little bit, get a couple things here and there. And it really provided that type of experience for me, and I'm glad when those come along. And that's why most of the games on this list and that we've been highlighting have that aspect for me. Not every game that maybe Daryl or someone else in Ambassadors has suggested has that, but this game in particular does. And so I really want to highlight that, and I really want people to go back and play it, especially because it's on Game Pass now. So if you've got an Xbox, you don't really have an excuse. It's also on Switch, which is awesome, because I think that's really a great kind of game for mobile, it being in handheld and all that kind of stuff. So you really should go out and play Ori. It's great. If you haven't, let us know why you haven't. It's on Game Pass, so it's basically free. Yeah, I'd love to hear what you have to think. Let us know if you've played Ori, if you plan on picking up and playing it before the sequel comes out. Let us know if you plan on playing the sequel on Game Pass or purchasing it yourself. And of course, like, share, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. It's super helpful for us. Everything engagement-wise is super helpful and helps us out. We also have a Patreon where you can donate monetarily. Well, it's not really a donate. You're going to be purchasing a subscription where we give you some cool stuff, perks, abilities, videos, all that kind of stuff. So until next time, friends, I'm Ambassador Michael. Ori and the Blind Forest, one of the best games of the generation. Goodbye.